Hi Cancer, welcome to the month of June. I'm Ruby and this is Ruby Reads Tarot. Thank you for joining me. To make a donation to the channel, to find out where to book, details on where to find me on Instagram, all in the description box. Please do give it a look. So the big thing for you Cancer, and I think outside the mutable signs, you might find yourself affected by Mercury going into retrograde in your sign. If you may have felt over the course of 2018-2019, there was a real sort of focus on your personal life, your personal relationships, your interpersonal relationships, and it may have felt quite tough. This Mercury retrograde kind of sets you free of a lot of real heavy energy, and it gives you the opportunity to really run with what you want now, right? Moving in the direction of your life. Where is it that you want to go now? I think you might find with Mercury being a very fast-paced, I want you to think Virgo, I want you to think Gemini. We're in Gemini season at the moment, and Venus is currently in retrograde in Gemini at the moment. Saturn is in retrograde in Capricorn, so is Pluto, so is Jupiter. There's a lot of this slingshot energy. And what it really means for you, Cancer, is that you kind of sum up this water trine that Mercury has been retrograding in since back in late 2018, think Libra season, Scorpio season, when it all began. You're kind of rounding up something. And I think if you really want to go with it, you'll find that your idea of conventions, your idea of what used to be important to you, who you were before, is you're a whole different person. This Mercury retrograde June might bring you the opportunity to study. It might give you the opportunity to commit to something, could be in regards to a relationship, could be in regards to marriage. I think it might have something to do with the commitment that you are ready to make after having learned a lot of really heavy life lessons. And Cancer, I don't say that it would have been easy at all. We've got Gemini, the North Node's moving to Gemini now, and a lot of it does have to do with how quick we are to... There's something about these two cards. There's the Two of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles that makes, for me, it screams monotonous. Yes, it's traditional. Yes, it is what one would deem as a societal norm. For me, you know, I feel like you've been riding these ebbs and flows for a while, and it may have been in regards to some sort of relationship or commitment. And if you're happy to be stuck in this loop, which you may have been in, I just feel as if June might kind of shake some of that up a little bit. Your commitment towards something, I think, has been super commendable. I think the way you've applied yourself and really got focused on what is important to you and how you've really had to be responsible and plug into the grind. And like, you know, the proof is in the pudding kind of energy. You've had to like really plug in. And I think you've done the work. You've earned your dues, Cancer. I think as June progresses and as Mercury does its thing in your sign, you'll find the importance of work. And a lot of people have been getting this card this month. Work will need to come first and foremost. If anything, I feel as if this might have been the continuous work you were doing towards something that you finally see a reward in. 10 of Wands and the Star card, Aquarius energy. I mean, look, you've come full circle. You've paid your dues, you've really plugged in, and you've really got your head down and carried a bunch of stuff that you might have felt even was a bit more than you should have. Like, you did your fair share, you held it all together, you know, you really plugged in the time, you really plugged in the energy, and June is that payoff for you. June sees you attaining a dream come true. June sees you finally reaching the end of something which may have felt as if it was really quite heavy. There was a lot for you to carry. There was a lot of responsibility in it for you. You know, always being quite assertive and on guard and being like your energy needed this pull. And it may have had a lot to do with a home, it may have had a lot to do with study or a job, whatever, and just the work that you really had to plug in. And June really does see that paying off for you. June is I think this year for you is going to be a fantastic year. The Star card is a dream coming true. It is the hopes that you have held quite dear to your heart, something that you wanted to see show up. And I feel as if June, this Gemini season, might even be leading you in the direction of a larger commitment. If this is a commitment that you've wanted to see in a long time, say for example, like bringing a marriage together, bringing a relationship out of a real monotonous cycle, and, you know, doing the thing, creating the bonds that mean that the longevity is fixed in place. Having those kind of relationships over things that seem to be taking a lot more out of you, where you might not see the result or you might not see the future in it. I feel as if June helps you differentiate. Maybe this could be a new relationship, this could be a new pairing, a new partnership, but what it is, I feel as if Gemini season is almost designed to show you that you could be in a situation where you're plugging in all this hard work and it may just feel like you are carrying a lot more than you should. Versus, now this dream come true, where you can apply that same energy with the right person and things will naturally fall into place. So my personal belief is when you're in a relationship with someone, yes, things should be, you know, balanced. There should be ebbs and flows, give and take. That's just life. But when it's too much Ten of Swords and not enough the Star, Ten of Wands, sorry, too much Ten of Wands and not enough the Stars, you've got to question whether or not it is the right relationship for you. I have here the Knight of Swords. Again, the card of Mercury for me. You're really charging forward, and this mercurial energy, even though it's in retrograde, is going to pull you out of some stumps. It's going to pull you out of some situations where communication may not have been as it should have been, where you may have felt stuck, where it may have felt quite monotonous and everything became quite routine. The Hierophant, I've got the card of Taurus and the Five of Cups. What I'm clearly seeing here, Cancer, is there is a call for you, and I think you're really willing now, and I think with the Knight of Swords and the Hierophant here, you've had to really grasp onto how you are spiritually living, like how you're living in tune with your spirit as well as your physical presence here. So if, for example, you may have been moving on autopilot before, like I've got to go in this direction because it means marriage, it means this, it means that, and that is what society expects of you, or that's what your preempted ideas of what life should be. I don't think that's going to work for you anymore. I think the closing out of this water trine Mercury retrograde spin on things just means like old conventions, what worked for you before Five of Cups, really you see how it's not relevant to your life anymore, and how you are so willing to like just shift, just zoom into this new idea of what life should look like. And this could very well be, you know, the ending of a situation that you know was just not, it was fine, but ultimately the cups are spilt, which means, you know, what was in them, was it really to your benefit? And if it wasn't, the Knight of Swords, this mercurial energy for me really does think, you know, get excited about life, get that energy back. Dreams are coming true. Real relationships, the ones that kind of bring you a reason to laugh and be happy and be merry, as well as, you know, the true ultimate commitment of what that looks like to you. Marriage, commitment. If you are asked this month with this Mercury retrograde to really address the reason why some of those cups had to spill, I think you'll really like understand that by doing the same toing and froing and carrying all these burdens, etc., it would be leading nowhere really fast. And it can be hard to pull away from something that you've worked so hard and diligently on. But when doors are opening for you like this, and the universe is sort of guiding you to take them, because you may not be able to see what's in front of you right now, but it'll be really satisfying once you get moving. The thing with this is to be really quite carefree and quite aware that you've got to move and it's got to happen, and you've got to go, okay. The Lovers card, Gemini energy, Taurus energy, Aquarius energy. I see new love. I see the kind of love that you pour a lot of and this could be the revival within a love situation. I don't, however, think this is a breakup that's happened in the past. I think that 10 of Wands is, and the 5 of Cups is definitely an indication that some things really do need to be left in the past. And we discussed that last month. For this month, you really have to stay quite in the motion, right? You've got to stay in the movement. You've got to be the winds of initiation. There is lover energy here, right? There is soulmate energy here for you to pull on. And I think you would do yourself a massive favor by remaining quite open-minded about... should I take those? Okay. Libra energy, justice. At the bottom of the deck. Okay, who we got? 9 of Cups. Page of Pentacles. 2 of Swords. Queen of Swords. 5 of Wands. 4 of Pentacles. Ace of Swords, 7 of Cups, 2 of Cups, the Moon, and the 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups. Real focus on your own solo independence, okay? I feel as if Page of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, you're really quite focused and grounded on what you can bring to the table for yourself, what you can make for yourself in your future. I feel like there has been a lot of self-mastery that you've had to do, Cancer, over the course of the last few years. This lunation, this period where we have this eclipse, we have this Sagittarius eclipse, is really kind of asking you not to remain quite... this Gemini energy, like, it's very... straightforward. It's communication at its, most precise, and you're almost being called to be very straightforward and direct, Cancer, in regards to cutting off things that may have led to a bit of delusionment and were really just about the conflict. You're being asked to kind of put some sort of cyclical routine to one side. It's just not going to satiate you. 2 of Cups and the Lovers card, and I keep predicting this great love for Cancer, and this might be the year that this actually happens and it totally knocks your socks off and blows you right away. But you will not be able to allow that in whilst there is conflict and burdensome energy and kind of like looking at the cup half full. It can't be rewards and blessings. Yeah, it's like that analogy of having one foot in one ship, in one boat, and another foot in another boat. Like, before you know it, you'll be in the water. Commit to a direction. And I think whatever you can with this Mercury energy, a very fast-paced movement, very like, okay, I can't take on all the weight of the world. I have limited amount of energy. This is my resources. I have to work with what I've got. Focus yourself very much into your work at the moment. Your personal commitment, your personal finances, your romance of self, your dreams and ambitions coming true. I think with a lot of self-reflection and a lot of self-mastery, Cancer, you might just find that on the other end of your personal independence and you're being completely content with who you are, you find a relationship, the kind of relationship that you're supposed to have. One where you are happy, one where you are content, one where it does not matter how much effort you put in or don't put in, what you need from the person, you'll find. That is the authenticity, I think, that this real, like, straightforward and blunt Gemini energy is about. And it might serve you to pull back a little bit from the empathy and take more of this Queen of Swords, this Gemini approach, which is, I got things that I need to do. And that means following my dreams and achieving self-contentment and self-happiness. Because that way I can fit very nicely into this Two of Cups. If it's done from the heart, there's no doubting it. Everything else is just kind of like bad memories, right? It's stigma. It's trauma. I would maybe say do some trauma healing, especially while Mercury is in retrograde, because there's a lot of really good stuff here that is in your energy that you can draw in. There is this element of self-mastery though, and that is differentiating between what was right and what was wrong. And actually putting a line under what no longer really works for you and see where it is that you can move forward to now, because you're being pushed forward. You really are. And the sword of truth is here. Take it, yield it in a way that will create a way for you to be really upfront and honest with who you are now, after all of that stuff that's happened. This Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, all these retrograde energies want to support us in creating our best version of ourselves. They don't serve this purpose of just being tricky energy for no reason. They're here to help us, but the key is to help yourself also. So Cancer, enjoy June. Leave me a thumbs up and a comment if you like the video. To book a reading, visit Rubyreadstarot.com. All donations to the channel are greatly appreciated. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I'll speak to you soon.